Heyo. Sorry for starting super late today, guys. Oh no, oh no. It's the chord mayhem already. Hold on. There we go. Everything's better. Whoo, boy. Anyway, how's it going? I'm super sorry that this started super late today, but there were issues happening today. But anyway, today we're kicking off Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This is my favorite Zelda game in the entire wide world. One of my favorite top 3 games. You got this. It'll be over tonight. I don't know. We got limited time tonight, but if I can beat it tonight, that'd be pretty sweet. I can beat this game in 3 minutes if you guys really wanted to see that, but I feel like people want to see the full experience. Oh, this must be an old file. So yeah, A Link to the Past, one of my top 3 games of all time, mostly because it's legitimately the first game I ever played. Also, what's up, Henry and H-Pets and Kappa Mangoes? Ooh, Oracle of Seasons is spectacular. I'm excited to get to that one too. Do the 3 minutes first. Speed run, then play legit. I mean, if people really want, I mean, I could do the 3-minute run. Help me, please help me. I'm a prisoner in the dungeon of the castle. My name is Zelda. The wizard Aghanim has done something to the other missing girls. Now only I remain. Aghanim has sealed control of the castle and is now trying to open the 7 wise men's seal. I am in the dungeon of the castle. Please help me. Chris, I'm going out for a while. I'll be back by morning. Don't leave the house. Ha ha. Don't you worry. I will barely do anything. Well, I guess I should get the lantern. Let me think. I think I actually have to do... well, no, actually, you know what? I know how to do this in 3 minutes. Fucking perv, I got him. Or however it's spelled. I know, right? Stealing women left and right? Creepy. So this is... Obviously, I'm not going to do this as well as the legit speedrunners do it. But this glitch is... It's so funny to me. It's been a little while since I've done it, though, so I might goof it up the first time. Take my sword! Yes! I mean, don't you steal people? Yes, I do. How you guys doing today? It always stinks starting the stream super late, but I'm happy that you guys are still here and ready for some action. Also, people that find glitches like this make me so happy. Right, that's the button. Totally normal. Everything is exactly how it's supposed to go. Zelda's your what? Isn't that the joke with Zelda 2? Is that, who was it? Someone's like, Link, you must save Zelda. Oh no, it is this one. Never mind. I'm getting my games mixed up already. As a kid that totally just flew over my head, like, it didn't mean anything to me. And then I was like, watching other people joke about it. I was like, oh wow, that is interesting. What is Zelda to me? Hehehe. Don't mind me, don't mind me. I'm just gonna go upstairs for a little bit there. And I'll just go ahead and get booped by you. Oh, what's that? I'm inside the wall? Oh, so wacky. So if you navigate this correctly, Oh, am I stuck on something? I might be stuck on something. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go down. There we go. So I can go. So if you bump off the wall, then you'll jump back down into the level. Zelda is your mother fucking MacGuffin. That is exactly right. Hey there, Chris. My buddy H Pets 12 told me about you in one of my streams and gave you full. Yeah, I was watching your Fortnite stream the other day with the pink panda or no pink bear outfit. It was you were pretty fun too. But thanks for the follow, man. I'm excited that more people are interested in the chrono gaming thing. Ah, look at that, it's Ganon. And I beat the game. Isn't that wild? What a crazy glitch that you could just like skip past everything. So that's the official Affinity Chris 3-minute speedrun. I'll see you in the the speedrun timetables. Gotta love some Zelda. Aw, yeah. Ah, but now we're spoiling the end. Alright, on to Link's Awakening. Oh boy, what a jerk I would be if I actually did that. Save the world? Okay, got it. Next game hype. I never was much for glitching games, which is funny. It was, I think, working as a professional QA got me more into the idea of like glitch speedruns. And then I watched Awesome Games Done Quick, and it blew my mind how some people can abuse glitches to speedrun games. And so it got me curious about at least A Link to the Past and how I could like do some interesting stuff. But other than that, like as a kid at most, I would just enjoy falling out of bounds for games. Because out of bounds glitches are the weirdest, because you're like, I don't quite know. You never quite know what's gonna like get goofed up. Especially in 3D games where it's like 3D models aren't really like, they're not totally complete, right? Because oftentimes they're missing polygons on the sides that you would never see for optimization reasons. But every now and then you find weird gems. Like Mario 64, I think Mario 64 you could glitch inside buildings, and like if you had knocked on the door it would show up this little dialogue bubble that'd be like, the door is locked, don't come in. But if you look through the polygons you could see a signpost, so they just kind of like, they faked how the dialogue box appeared. Stuff like that is so fascinating to me, especially because retro games are they had to make so many more clever choices than modern game developers do. Also, I love that the rain stays if you glitch through this. Like, we beat the game, but things are kind of dreary still for some reason. Falling to the abyss of glitches tends to be a little lame. I love this music. The remix of ALBW is probably some of the best music out there. I don't know if I've heard this, but now I want to hear this. Especially if it's a Link to the Past remix. Like, doesn't get much better than that. I'm playing this on the SNES Classic, by the way. I don't know if it really matters to most people, but I think as far as hardware goes, this is basically running at about the same that it would on the actual SNES. A Link Between... Oh. A Link Between Worlds. I see. I should have realized that. A Link Between Worlds was good too. I didn't like it as much as I hoped I would, but I kind of entered it being very skeptical, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. But it still was a really good experience. I guess I could just reset this. Here, does this do the soft reset? Oh, it does. Nice. Alright. Just to be careful. Because I'm not totally sure where that'll bring me back to. Actually, it might have just brought me right back to the dad, but that's okay. So, what order are you playing the games in? Release, I thought about doing something similar, but in timeline order. Yeah, I'm doing it based on the Japanese release date. Yeah, I gotcha. But yeah, I'm doing it based on release order. Mostly because I like to look at how the game's designs kind of evolved over time. Like in-game chronology would be a really fun way of exploring a Chrono stream too. I've definitely considered doing the same thing. I just realized what Chrono meant. Nah, you're fine. I mean, like, really, it's however you choose to define it. I like the idea of playing it by an in-game chronology too, if there's like an official timeline. With Zelda, it gets a little bit muddy since there's like the semi-official timeline, but then it branches in 3 paths, and then how do you choose which one to go to? But yeah, I'm starting from OG Zelda all the way up to at least Breath of the Wild, unless a new Zelda's out by the time I beat that one, which you never know. And I'm trying to play the oddball Zelda games too. At least so long as people are interested. The hard part is going to be getting things like a Philips CDI to get the those real bad Zelda games. Even though those are third party, but I mean, like, I have Hyrule Warriors on there, Breath of the Wild 2039. I mean, at least by that point, maybe there'll be like 2 more Zelda games, right? Actually, there'll be like 5 more because they make the Game Boy one or the Nintendo DS ones. They crank those ones out pretty quick, which most of them are good. I have yet to totally experience Phantom Hourglass, which I've heard very mixed things about, but we'll see. I might enjoy it. I was not so much of a fan of Spirit Tracks, though. Why am I on a train? This makes no sense. They're trying too hard to be like a weird version of Wind Waker. I'd rather just play Wind Waker, you know? Man. We played this game back on the YouTube show. Back when that was still around. And watching my co-host play this game just made me be like, Eddie, you don't know how to play this game. Zelda, she's been kidnapped again, 2045. I mean, that's basically it. You know what I would love, though, is a game focused purely on Zelda, like the character Zelda, kicking ass. Like, one that wasn't on the Philips CDI, because technically that's the only... I think that's the only one where Zelda was a main protagonist. Which is crazy to me, because Zelda is such an interesting character by herself. Oop, I need that. I haven't played Phantom Hourglass, but I heard it sucked, honestly. I think it's one pivotal thing about that game that really irked people the wrong way, and it was the constant return to some central tower. And every time it gets a little bit longer, but you have to go through every single part of it every single time. And if you have to do that 20 times, yeah, it's gonna get real boring. But that stuff doesn't always bother me. I kind of find that cathartic, so I might actually enjoy that. But even Spirit Tracks had a little bit of stuff like that too. Got my priorities. Gonna get that treasure first. Thank you, Chris. I had a feeling you were getting close. Chris, listen carefully. The wizard is magically controlling all of the soldiers in the castle. I fear for the worst for my father. The wizard is an inhuman fiend with strong magical powers. Do you understand? What? I just came to visit the cellar. All right, let's get out of here before the wizard notices. I know a secret path, but first, we have to go to the first floor. Let's go. You know how I missed out on nearly all of the Zeldas, but I hear that Zelda was really cool in the later games, like dressing up as a thief and whatnot. You mean talking about like Breath of the Wild? Oh, you're talking about the character Zelda. I mean, yeah, you'll definitely see a bit of that as we go forward. It doesn't take long for Zelda to start getting pretty cool. I really like her character in Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I feel like I liked her in Skyward Sword, even though I wasn't a fan of the game much on its own. In Breath of the Wild, she was really, really good too. I felt, well, I guess I shouldn't speak too soon, because I have yet to actually beat Breath of the Wild, because I get, like, hooked on playing things completionist style, which is terrible for games like Breath of the Wild that has probably at a minimum 200 hours of content. Skyward Sword, because you learn why she is the throne leads to the throne room to the sanctuary. I'm sure the old man there will help us. That's right. Or why she's the way she is. I see. I misread that. But yeah, absolutely. The general lore that comes out of Skyward Sword is really, really fascinating, and I was into that. That ornamental shelf should open. Do you have a light? It's pitch dark inside, and you can't see without one. If you're ready, let's go. Help me push it from the left. So that's one snippet from the A Link to the Past randomizer that I love that they did. Is A Link to the Past randomizer, it literally is pitch black unless you have the lantern. And that makes for such interesting challenges. Of course, I can just use my... Oops, that's not the right button. I can use my lantern to kind of ignite this area. Honestly, I love Skyward Sword, and I don't think there's anything wrong for loving it. Honestly, like, it rubbed me the wrong way, but I still absolutely understand why people love it. And I still genuinely like the combat mechanics of Skyward Sword. I thought it was very well done for systems that had a bad rep with its motion controls. And maybe that's because I played it right after I played Okami. And Okami on the Wii, the original Wii, was it was a bit of a shit show. Even though it was a great game, the motion controls were... They needed so much more work. Yeah, give me that key. Just not the imprisoned. Can't wait to see you fight that. Oh, God. The imprisoned is definitely... After passing through these sewers, we will be very close to the sanctuary. Let's be careful. The imprisoned is definitely one of those reasons why I disliked Skyward Sword. I'm not gonna lie. It was that, and, it was mostly that, honestly. As far as, like, repeated content, I hate the repeated use of bosses in that game. It drove me crazy. Okami was perfect. Eddie was perfect. That and Final Fantasy 15 are two of my favorite playthroughs we ever did on GDPG. I'm happy we finished Okami before that show got shelved. That and Doki Doki. I liked the last episode we did on Doki Doki. Or the repeating of the areas. Oh, definitely. It was just like, that game felt like it was cutting too many corners to save on unique content, you know? And to an extent, they did it really well, but then to another extent, it felt really shallow. They did the same with Girahim, but honestly, he's my favorite villain, so I was okay with that. Girahim's fights were actually interesting, though, so I'm kind of on that side. That was, like, one of the best boss fights in that entire game, and the fact that he kept evolving every time kept it interesting. Princess Zelda, you're safe! Is this your doing, Chris? Yeah. Yes, it was Chris who helped me escape from the dungeon. When I was captive, the wizard said, once I have finished with you, the final one, the seal of the wise men will open. Chris, you must not let the land of Hyrule fall into the wizard's clutches. If he releases the seal of the 7 wise men, evil power will overwhelm this land. Before that happens, before it's too late, destroy the wizard before he destroys all of Hyrule. You can do it. You can.
I sense a mighty, evil force guides the wizard's actions and augments his magical power. The only weapon potent enough to defeat the wizard is the legendary Master Sword. It is said that the village elder is a descendant of one of the 7 wise men. Maybe he can tell you more. I will mark his house on your map. But watch your every move. I am certain the castle soldiers will be looking for you now. I will hide Princess Zelda here. Do not worry. Seek the elder. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Is shelved a Perforce reference, or are you just glad to see me? You're ridiculous. But also, I'm not savvy enough with Perforce to pretend like that was intentional. There, now I can properly focus on you. I was gaming while waiting for you to go online, just able to wrap up what I was doing.
Do you understand?
Yeah, was Foxen not streaming Yakuza tonight? It's okay, I'm mad at myself for even saying that. Oh, that's right, the elder's new.
Ooh, oh, it's you, Chris. What can I do for you, young man? The elder? Oh, no one has seen him since the wizard began collecting victims. What? Master Sword? Well, I don't remember the details exactly, but long ago a prosperous people known as the Hylia inhabited this land. Legends tell of many treasures that the Hylia hid throughout the land. The Master Sword, a mighty blade forged against those with evil hearts, is one of them. People say that now it is sleeping deep in the forest. Do you understand the legend? Anyway, look for the elder. There must be someone in the village who knows where he is. You take care now, Chris.
Bye. Sasha Rahalaha. I always feel bad trying to pronounce his name. I'm so bad at it. Okay, how much I have? Not many rupees. I should buy... Well, I don't have enough to buy a magic jar, because I think that's 200? But I should buy some bombs so that I can find bombs in the world. Unless I'm totally forgetting that bombs might just be in a treasure chest somewhere. I know they don't spawn in bushes, though, until you find them the first time. I'm pretty sure. I guess she isn't... Wow, I didn't tune into that. Yeah, I didn't see a live notification from her, but... Hey! There's some bombs. Sweet! Good, because I don't have enough money to buy them. Well, to buy everything. I want to get that jar. Can I make a confession? Will you keep it between you, me, and this Twitch stream of people who I don't know? It's related to the game you're playing. Oh yeah, she might be out of spoons. Okay, I'm not gonna wait for you to spawn. Started this game a few times and never finished, but I will someday. Don't judge me, I'm sorry. I will forever judge you for that. But your secret is safe. It's a secret to everyone. You don't need to worry. Honestly, I can't judge you for that because I've been equally bad about other franchises. So it's fine. My best friend also has yet to beat this game, and I will scold him forever about it. Dude, this is the only Zelda I beat. I mean, like, it's a good one to beat if that's gonna be the only one. It's pretty quick, too, once you figure out the nooks and crannies of it. Honestly, I didn't play this game until October 2016. That's how I was with original Zelda and Zelda 2. I, like, for some reason, never picked them up, and then it was some random afternoon that I was just like, I feel like trying original Zelda, and then I did it, and I loved it. and then promptly forgot everything I learned from that experience. Da-da-da-da. I'm bad at playing all the games. I'm a fake gamer guy. I mean, like, that's half the part of the reason why I'm doing the Zelda Chrono stream is actually because I want to play all of the Zelda games. Because there's been a couple that I've missed. Oh, that's right. There's nothing on this side. Just a bunch of old people in a bar. Only Zelda you played. Psh. For shame. Zelda's so good, though. I'm into it. Nah, I don't want to go in here. I don't need your stinking potions. I'm just gonna go get my bug net and leave. What's up, sick guy?
I can't go out because I'm sick. People say I caught this cold from the evil air that is coming down from the mountain. Sniff, sniff. This is my bug catching net. I'll use it when I'm better, but for now I'll lend it to you.
Haha, like you're gonna get this back. You borrowed the bug catching net. There may be some other things you can catch with it too, like a Ghanum's evil lasers. Also, sick Mario painting. Hey, what's up, Jen? These voices are amazing. Thank you, thank you. I try not to be self-conscious about the voices so I can just, like, be silly with them. Why do I keep going in there? It's like I am expecting something. It's because the randomizers got me in the habit of checking every nook and cranny because I'll forget to pick up a treasure here or there. Later, guy. Let's see. I can't do anything in there yet. I can get a piece of heart. Yes, I can do that. I think the person who played all the games would have to be strapped to like a machine that feeds them and maintains their vitals and keeps them from ever sleeping. Also, I love these guys.
Yeah, Chris, I'm quarreling with my younger brother. I sealed the door to his room because that's what brothers do when they fight. Because what? What?
Chris, do the Toad voice. I don't know if I want to blow out this microphone. We gotta save that for Mario if that ever happens.
Hey, Chris, did you come from my other brother's room? Is he still angry?
Sure. I haven't played most of the handheld Zeldas, just A Link Between Worlds. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty common. I mean, like, I missed out on a lot of the handheld ones until, like, way later in life, too. Do the Toad voice. If you can reach the goal within 15 seconds, we will give you something good. Ready, set, go. Who decided that this competition... What are you even getting out of this, random old person?
This try, your time was 0 minutes and 8 seconds. You qualified. Congratulations, I present you with a piece of heart.
I love that they count minutes in case you're really that slow that you're gonna have more than 99 seconds. Hey, thank you for following. Okay, let's see. What would be the most efficient way to go about this? There's nothing I can do up there right now. Not until I get the ocarina. Yeah. I can't get the... Oh, I could get the ice rod. So I guess I'll go do that. You know what? I'll go back to that once I get the bow. I'm just gonna knock that out. Ah, and thank you for following. Man, you guys are awesome. Oh wait, I don't want to go this way. Oh yeah, I can't get around that way. Good job, Chris. Hey, I was that slow. Wait. People are now intrigued. We're starting to get a fever-only cure. More Toad voice. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not more Toad voice. I'm new to this Twitch thing. You're welcome. Ah. I mean, like, I'm right there with you. I really should have been using Twitch way more often. It took me a hot second to jump on that bandwagon, and I'm very happy I did. Twitch communities already feel tremendously more welcoming than the YouTube ones were, which, to be fair, there were some awesome people from the YouTube days. It's just, they were fewer and far between. Alright, so I'm going to the forest, which I do appreciate that they kind of indirectly, like, suggest you should go to the forest, because the, Sahasrara, I think that must be his wife, she says something about the Master Sword being in the forest, so you're like, oh, well, I should go to the forest then, right? Like, that only makes sense, and it's so close to the village that it's pretty easy to find. So, in exploring the in exploring the forest, you're gonna stumble upon the, oh, get out of here. Well, I guess you're gonna stumble upon a couple of things. This ideally being one of them.
Mario! Princess Peach has gotten captured again!
Try not to, like, blow out this microphone. I don't want to hurt your guys' ears. It was real bad when we played Super Mario RPG. I went all out on that because we had a compressor on the mic, so I was a little less worried. Okay, so in looking for the Master Sword, you just kind of naturally stumble upon this mushroom. You're like, ah, this mushroom smells like sweet rotten fruit. You can give this to anyone who wants it. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll give this to someone. So I may have accidentally unfollowed, had to refollow. That's okay. I thought that you had followed before, and I was like, oh, maybe that didn't happen. But you're all good. You don't gotta worry about that. Thank you. Voice actor of the year. Yes! So, then you find the Master Sword, and you're like, oh, I got it! And then you read this, and you're like, I don't know what that says. And you're like, well, I might as well try to pull it. And you're like, oh, I can't do it. I'm not the hero of time. But then you're like, oh, okay, well, I know where it is. Clearly, there's more I'm going to have to do with it. But I like that they kind of, like, indirectly kind of suggest you enter this area and probably find it and realize, oh, there's more I need to do first. There's another mushroom? I didn't know that they came back. Maybe it just infinitely respawns until you deliver it to the person you're supposed to deliver it to. That's news to me. I guess I usually just pick up my mushroom and go, so I never would have seen that before. Okay, so now I'm going to take this, we're going to go drop it off, and then we're going to go do Dungeon 1. Because I don't think there's anything else super significant that needs to be knocked out right away. Yeah, most of the stuff, a lot of stuff gets accessible once you get both the boots and the power bracelet. Huh? What's this say? Surely it doesn't say Cursed Sword of Doom. Please don't touch. Probably not. It's probably fine. That's one of the things I loved about Minute, was that it took that trope of like, oh yeah, you just find the sword, pick it up, I'm sure it's fine. Sorry, I hope that's not making a lot of noise on the mic. But, Minute was like, oh, you do that, and now you're cursed. Sorry, buddy. Bing. Ooh, I'll take those arrows. I'll need those in a little bit. By the way, I played the crap out of Minute after I finished streaming that. Like, I went back and I completed it. Like, I think I completed it. I think I'm missing one thing. There was a battery that I never found. I'm getting skipping in video. How's the stream health? Stream health looks good. Oh, there were a couple of little hiccups. It jumped down to 4K, or 4 megabytes per second, but it should be about 4.5 for the most part.
Oh, thank you, young man. Come back to the shop later for something good.
I have had video encoder issues with the SNES Classic in the past. So if you see a glitched screen, definitely let me know. That gave us a lot of trouble when we were recording stuff on YouTube. But I think it was just because we use an outdated Elgato. But hopefully that doesn't come across in the stream. Seems a little odd if that is the case. Ooh, thank you. I really don't need that lantern right now. There's also some other glitches that I'm not so savvy with, where you can trick Link into swimming. I think you can trick Link into swimming on water before you have the swimming fins, which is kind of silly.
I am indeed Sarashala, the village elder and descendant of the 7 wise men. Oh, really? Chris, I am surprised a young man like you is searching for the Sword of Evil's Bane. Not just anyone can use that weapon. Legends say only the hero who has won the 3 pendants can wield the sword. Do you really want to find it?
Of course.
Good. As a test, you can retrieve the pendant of courage from the East Palace. If you bring it here, I will tell you more of the legend and give you a magical artifact. Now, go forward to the palace.
Oh, I didn't realize they still called them palaces in this game.
Oh, I'm out of bombs.
Well, I'll probably get more inside the palace. I guess that's one thing that carried over from Zelda 2. Although maybe they called them palaces in Zelda 1 also. They just kind of were referred as levels, so they're probably nondescript except in the instruction booklet. I mean, if it's sink or swim, I'm sure Link will learn to swim really fast. You've never tried swimming while lugging around, like, 500 pounds of equipment. And I mean, really, how does Link hold on to all that stuff, right? He's got to have some kind of, like, bag of holding or pocket dimension that he just, like, tucks it in. I do love that art that depicts Link just, like, carrying everything in his arsenal to just, like, show you how ridiculous it is. Ass portal. Ugh. When you put it like that, suddenly I want to go back to just Link carrying everything. Store all your stuff there. I mean, like, if it works, right? Eh? This music is one of my favorite Zelda songs ever. I'm right there on your side. It's so good. I think my favorite Zelda song is Farewell Hyrule King. I think that's the name of it. I could be wrong. Jen knows. Because Jen also knows how to play it on piano, and she's awesome. The inventory explained in Legend of... yeah. I really need to watch Legend of Neil. Also, what's up, man? You might have been here this whole time for all I know, but... now that I see you in chat... man, I feel like everyone's seen Legend of Neil but me. I gotta get on this. From Wind Waker? Well, I think Farewell Hyrule King exists in some form in most Zelda games. But it might have gotten that title in Wind Waker. Not 100% sure on that. But it definitely, that theme does exist in this game. It's just not as, like, grim. Who is this Neil fella? It's the parallel universe of Link. Is that a raider? Favorite song? Oh, favorite song in the game, what's yours? Oh, man. That's tough. Oh, I forgot about these.
Chris, it is I, Sarashala. I can talk to you telepathically when you touch these tiles. Here's a hint. You can use the treasure room in this palace to defeat armored foes.
This is one of those things in this game that always confused the poop out of me, where I was like, why why is Sarashala talking to me through these things? Like, how does he do that? And then, like, as an adult playing through the game, I already know how this game works, so I just kind of always avoided them. But now whenever I read them, I'm like, oh, so this is how they expect you to figure out these things that I just kind of, like, forced my way to finding solutions for. Ooh, thank you. Ow, this is what I get for looking away. I was here the whole time. I was one of the people who was asked for the 3-minute run. Oh, my bad. I was kind of snapping into it at that point still. We had some car troubles before the stream, so I was kind of like a little dazed still. Yeah. Get out of here. Boop, boop. Hoo, 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 hoo. Evil fairies, not so scary in this game. Got the boss key. I think it's the castle theme from this game. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's right. I think you're mixing up comments I asked for your favorite inventory system in the game. Really? Oh, favorite. Oh, wow, I am mixing up comments. Favorite inventory system in a game. Oh, I need this. I should probably grab this. I don't know, man. I think it's more about... For me, it's not favorite inventory system. It's more about, like... best... jeez. Like... inventory systems that most correctly are paired with the game mechanics that they're supposed to facilitate, you know? So, like, in this game, the inventory system feels appropriate because it's a really quick, simple way of, like, not only gauging, like, oh, these are all the items in the game that I need, but it's also, like, a quick way of just selecting it and kind of managing your inventory in a really simple way. Games like Mass Effect are built in a way that, like, assumes that you're going to be collecting a lot of stuff and then breaking them down to, you know, use for upgrades. If I'm remembering that system correctly. It's been a little while. Come on, come in. I think Torchlight 2 is up there. You know, I've never played Torchlight. I think I played a demo, and I own both of them. And so I have no excuse. Ow. I jumped right into him. The piano music after when Link beats Ganondorf in Wind Waker is what you're talking about, right? Yeah, definitely. That is one of the renditions of that song. Snickety snack, get my sack, fairies. I mean, like, when you put it like that, it's a little unsettling. There we go. Mo fairy, less scary. Forever gonna be my favorite slogan of this game. Yeah. Yes! Aww, it's always so satisfying when you get all of them in one swoop. Ah. Wake up, buddy! I'll just refill on those and get another one of those, and now we good. Playing the randomizer can be really silly in that you can get to these fights and have, like, the level 4 sword already, or the silver arrows in one instance of my run through the randomizer, and it's so silly beating these bosses with fully loaded equipment. Snickety snack. Get in that sack. I don't know why I thought of that. Ah! Caught it! I always thought that the medallions looked like weird sprouts. Like a little seed with a plant kind of sprouting out of it. And I was like, why is Link collecting these plants? What's a pendant? You want the pendant of courage. Take it to Sarashala. 2 pendants remain. Alright, now we get ye old speed boots. Pegasus boots, I think they're called. But man, do they make everything faster.
Oh, you got the pendant of courage. Now I'll tell you more of the legend. 3 or 4 generations ago, an order of knights protected the royalty of Hylia. These knights of Hyrule were also guardians of the pendant of courage. Unfortunately, most of them were destroyed in the great war against the evil that took place when the 7 wise men created their seal. Among the descendants of the knights of Hyrule, a hero must appear. I see. Chris, I believe you should get the remaining pendants and carry this with you. This is a treasure passed down by the families of wise men. I want you to have it. It's a pair of nice boots.
He gives you the Pegasus shoes. Now you can execute a devastating dash attack. I love that boots are what determines that.
A helpful item is hidden in the cave on the east side of Lake Hylia. Get it!
So I never knew that he was the one that tells you that. I always just assumed that you were supposed to stumble upon that item.
Do you understand?
Just Torchlight 2 had a common weight space inventory. Ooh, thank you for those bombs. But you had a pet in the game that you could load up and then send to town to sell your stuff, so you never felt overburdened. Was much of a burden because you could sell your stuff in the exact moment. That is really nice. That's like one of my core issues. Sorry, I don't mean to burp in the mic. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's one of my core issues with games out of the Elder Scrolls series. And while I love those games so much, their inventory systems, they really suck sometimes. In that, like, it takes a lot of time to effectively manage your inventory. And Skyrim tried to fix that, and I think they ended up mostly just dropping the ball. But I yearn for an Elder Scrolls game that does inventory in a slick and less cumbersome way. Someday, hopefully. Man, I got so used to the randomizer that doing things in the correct order is so weird. In that, like, I don't know, I'm like, oh, well, who knows what I'm gonna get? Oh wait, I'm gonna get the magic powder. Duh. Yeah! This is magic powder. Try to sprinkle it on enemies and many other things. I love the magic powder. It's such a goofy item. Because you can take it over to these guys who normally shock you and just go, oh, just go like, ah, now you look funny, and they'll still shock you. Oh, I already have full bottles. I don't need more fairies. Let's see. So, I'll go take care of that stuff later. I'll go buy that. Yeah, I'll buy that bottle once I have more stuff to do in Kakariko Village. In the meantime, yeah, I think I'm gonna go get the ice rod. It's difficult when you take into account that Elder Scrolls makes an inventory system for both mouse and keyboard, as well as controllers. Oh, for sure. And that's where I think Skyrim had the right idea, where they really did try to make it easier for gamepads. And to an extent, I think they were moderately successful, but in the end, it still was kind of it was almost a little too weird for it to be truly successful in what it was trying to do. Which maybe it's like the next iteration of that will be the perfect balance. But we'll see. I mean, they made enough money, so they'll definitely keep making them. But yeah, the pet was useful in combat, so when you dismissed him, you could him to sell stuff. You had him absent for a few minutes, so that was kind of added a cool mechanic. Yeah, I kind of dig that. I could see that being pretty interesting. Come here, come here, come here. I got you. Whoop, whoop. Morrowind had a horrible magic inventory. I barely remember Morrowind, but I still yearn to play it sometimes. Yeah, look at that.
Take some rupees, but don't tell anyone I gave them to you. Keep it between us, okay?
You might say it's a secret to everybody. I use it all the time as an example to my students. There you go. That's good, I feel. That's one of the reasons why... Oh, I should have picked up that rupee. Oh well. That's one of the reasons why I think designers should play bad games too. And Morrowind was a great game, but seeing what could be improved from a negative experience is... Oh, I'm out of arrows. But that can be super, super useful. Ah! Maybe I could do it. Yes! Ha 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 ha. I don't play by your rules. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. But really, I think the idea is you're supposed to have the bow and arrow here and just like shoot them. Because like, they're such a pain to hit. But it's supposed to teach you to time your shots well, which I do really appreciate as a challenge. Morrowind's magic inventory was an ever-expanding text list with no way to... Oof. Oh yeah, that's clunky. Oh wow. She gave way more rupees than I thought they did. But seriously, the game you picked, your pet, and creating your character, you could have a fair with a leather aviator helmet. It was the most adorable thing ever. That does sound pretty amazing. Don't mind me, just gonna... Ow. That was the wrong button. Ow. Ooh. Actually, that did hurt quite a bit. That's okay. Everything feels better now that we have the ice rod. Okay. So I guess I'll go to Dungeon 2. Yeah, I might as well. Oh, they deal two hearts of damage. Whew, boy. Well, you know, you learn the hard way sometimes. A lot of these enemies do a lot more damage than you would think. Especially, like, that became a lot more apparent to me playing the randomizer when sometimes you gotta go to the dark world a little early before you even have, like, the blue armor or the blue tunic. And it's just like, wow, everything kills me in one hit. Awesome. Maybe I'll do the randomizer again sometime and just do, like, a bonus stream. Because I really, truly enjoy the randomizer. But I want to knock out the classic Link to the Past experience first. I can do that for original Zelda too, because I haven't checked that one out yet. Ha! Dodged it by bouncing off bushes. Oh, that's right, I don't have the power bracelet yet. I gotta go the long way. Don't mind me just dashing through. Excuse me. No problems here. I do kind of enjoy that these guys have a line of sight. It's one of those little touches that, you know, it doesn't add a ton to the experience. But that's like one of those layers of polish, you know, where, if they immediately started moving toward you once you were in that cell or that screen, you know, in a lot of games, it feels weird, right? Like, it just becomes a constant dodge fest, and you know, there's a lot of games where it's like, especially shoot 'em up games, where it's like you're just constantly backing up, trying to avoid this ever encroaching swarm of enemies that are just getting close to you. But having enemies have a line of sight in a game like this, just like, I don't know, makes it feel like they exist in this world, that the game isn't just like hard-coded to be against you. Yeah, I may be fumbling my words here, but I don't know. That's like that little touch of polish that adds a lot of flavor to the experience in such a good way. So confession time, when Foxen on Sunday played Twilight Princess, I intentionally skipped out on it so I would not spoil when you got to it. Ooh, sorry, Foxen. I really like Twilight Princess also. That's one that I've only beaten once though, so I'm ready to play that one again. I started playing Twilight Princess when someone stole my Switch. And this was like right at the dawning of the Switch, so they were really, really hard to get. And someone stole it like off my doorstep while I was at GDC, and I was so heartbroken that I was like, I just want to play the new Zelda. So to fill that hole in my heart, I played Twilight Princess again, and because it had been so long, I genuinely didn't remember most of that game, so it kind of felt like I was playing it for the first time, and it did a good job at making me feel a little bit more complete. Let's see. I'm gonna go... Yeah, I'll go to the desert. Twilight Princess is my favorite Zelda. That is a good pick. I'm way into that one. Foxen is a tease. She plays games at times and then doesn't finish them, so I cannot have my heart broken again. I feel you there, man. That was like, honestly, when we were doing YouTube, that's one of the reasons why GDPG started doing full playthroughs, because I got so tired of watching series started by other YouTubers, like the Game Grumps, for example, and then they would just like drop out halfway through. And like, I get it, you know, when views peter out and you're losing that source of revenue for your life. That's tough, right? So you just got to make that business call of like, hey, we got to move on to something else. Otherwise, we won't be able to pay our employees. But man, it just made me so sad. Like, I watched the Grumps Luigi's Mansion playthrough, and that's forever one of the ones that I wish that they finished, because I was enjoying that one so much. Yeah, Grumps probably won't finish Majora's Mask. I'll legit be pretty sad if they don't, because I was really enjoying that playthrough also. They never finished A Link Between Worlds? Oh, really? Oh, man. I thought they did, but I was kind of... I think I was watching that one a little... I was multitasking, so I wasn't totally paying attention. Boop.
To open the way to go forward, make your wish here, and it will be granted.
I was there when it happened. That has been one of my best additions to my many stories. Oh, yeah, because you were enjoying my Switch Hunter Chris series. I kind of lost a bit of respect for the Grumps. I don't judge anyone for feeling that way. They've definitely changed over the ages, and, you know, it's sort of a just general change of like how they approach things. So I get you if they don't got the same feel, especially for Aaron. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. Sometimes that's kind of what happens when, you know, shows go on for maybe too long and people change, and, you know, they might change in ways that you don't totally agree with. And that's okay. Switch Hunter Chris were some of the best Facebook posts I ever read. Yeah, I'm glad. You know, I'm happy that people enjoyed me making the best out of a terrible situation, because that's really what that was. It was me trying to, like, almost give myself more purpose to having lost my Switch. Oh, this is a trap room. You sneaky sons of guns. Boop. I should probably do something like Switch Hunter Chris again. I had fun doing that one a lot. Woo-hoo-hoo, woo-hoo. Oh, get out of here. Aaron's attitude has changed to a bit pretentious. I definitely agree with that. I still enjoy them quite a bit, though. Like, I guess it doesn't bother me tremendously enough, or at least enough to, like, pull me away from it. But, yeah, I get what you mean by that. Danny is still cool as day. It's because Danny's one of those guys. My buddy Tony is like that for me in real life, where it's just like such a genuine good person, like is so like upbeat 90% of the time in such a way that it's like I just can't be sad when I'm listening to you. Love me some fanny sex bang. But also dat fanny sex bang. I'm not a Grumps man, but I have a bias toward gameplay over gamer. I want the focus to be on the game and not the, whoops, that was the wrong door. That's what I get for reading chat. I want the focus to be on the game, not the gamers, and to be loud and obnoxious, so I hate it when the player trashes a game. I definitely hate it when a player trashes the game. I think, one of the redeeming things for me and the Grumps over the ages is that they made it more clear that they're just kind of trashing games to make jokes, not because they actually dislike a game or they intentionally seek out games that are a bit more objectively bad, rather than just like them being pissy, or rather Aaron being pissing about something. But that's aside the point, really. I just don't like trashing games in general. I feel like no game developer deserves that, unless you've made something like, oh, what was the name of that Atari game? Or maybe it was Commodore 64? It was like Colonel Mustard's Revenge or something. It was a really, really just awful game about, like, literally about rape. And whoever made that game is a terrible human being. I don't feel bad if they ever get trashed. But aside from those rare cases of people being garbage humans, most developers really don't deserve that kind of flack, I think. It's a lot of love and passion goes into making games. Custer's Revenge, yeah, that's the one. Hatred, you can hit on that. Whoop. Doesn't play game correctly, this game sucks. I mean, I don't think that there's really... I mean, okay... I might regret saying this, but I don't think that there's always a definite, like, or rather, I don't think that people should be reprimanded for playing a game incorrectly. Like, I don't think that, obviously there's an intent in mind for how a designer wanted a game to be played right. And that's pretty, like, objective through and through. But I do think that there's nothing wrong if someone does play a game the way that they prefer to play it, even if it is against what the designer's original intent is. Now, oftentimes, that does lead to a foul experience, right? Because that's not how the game was built. I don't think those people are unjustified in complaining about it, because their experience is still... It's still true. It's what it is. It just meant that that designer didn't accommodate that play style. And that's okay that they didn't, but it's also okay for that player to be frustrated with that. That's sort of my 2 cents on that anyway. Very death of the author of you. I don't actually know that one. I feel like I should, though. That has, like, the kind of title that has a lot of weight to it that's like, you should read this if you ever want to be an author. this room is such a tease because they put these lanterns all over here and they don't do anything. I'm pretty sure they don't do anything. But they're here to get you to stick around these I-beams longer so you'll probably take more damage. It's such a dirty trick, but I love it because this game was not pulling any punches when it came to like tricking their players. I think it's hilarious. Oh, it's an essay that debates whether the author... Oops, didn't mean to divide that up. Oh, I see. Oh, it's an essay that debates whether the author's intention even matters. Ooh, that sounds up my alley. I really like those kinds of discussions. Now I want to watch Aaron fight Dark Link in Water Temple. Oh man, I don't even remember that. I should pull that up too. Boop, 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 boop. What I think gets me is when it comes to Game Grumps is that Aaron recently seems more to view Game Grumps as a job, and he just shows up to put in his hours and leave. That I agree with, and that's I think the thing that started to make me kind of like care a little bit less than I used to. But I think as someone who also works in a creative field that I both want to be in, but also, you know, sometimes making games feels like a day job, and it's hard and it's stressful, and it's sometimes difficult to get that same amount of joy out of it that I used to. So I guess like I kind of relate to that, and maybe that's why I don't hold that as personally as I could have. But at the same time, man, like I totally get why you feel that way, and I don't think you're at all wrong for feeling that way. Oh, too soon. Come on. Oh. All right, can I do it? Can I do it? Ah. Ooh. Can I keep this fairy? Hey. I can throw it in the Discord. I mean, yeah, sure. I'll definitely watch it later if you do. But with him, it comes across in almost every episode. Yeah. Nah, I definitely get what you mean. I'm right there with you, man. It's one of those cases where I imagine it's like time is split so thin between so many different projects that it's hard to get enough time to like cool down enough to get back into that same groove that you used to. And maybe he's just done with it, you know, and feels like he has to do it in order to keep that revenue stream going. So who knows? Maybe when their newer show releases, they might just give up Grumps totally. It's possible. Compare his demeanor with earlier episodes, maybe even old as JonTron versus now. Yeah, I wasn't as much of a fan of the JonTron era just because they were a little too aggressive, if you know what I mean. Like, they were almost too mean for my taste. And the ironic thing there is that I was probably equally mean, or if not meaner, during the early days of Game Devs Play Games. And those episodes are still up because, I don't know, I feel like it's important to keep that up there to kind of like show where we were when we started the show compared to like what we turned into, because we learned a lot from that show. Like, I'm never disappointed that we spent so much time doing GDPG. It was very, very useful for like us growing as professionals. Aaron is becoming a legit grump. Yeah. Dude, Chris is super salty. I love how you mellowed out. I was really salty. I was just like really critical about game design in a unnecessarily aggressive way. Like, I'm happy that I did start that show off being very game design focused. But yeah, I didn't have to be such a jerk about it. I really didn't. I'm happy that it mellowed out over time. Oh, actually, you know what? I have enough money for the flippers. I might as well get that. I'm pretty sure I can get those. Yeah, I think so. I think I need either the leveled up power bracelet, whoops, or the Pegasus boots. And obviously you get the Pegasus boots pretty early, so yeah. But I'm glad that people like the more mellowed out Chris. If people attach to like angry, mean, aggressive Chris, I would kind of hate what I like pigeonholed myself into. Cause I don't like being angry or mean or any of that. It just makes me feel bad. Ow. Yeah, I see that with many Let's Players. They pleasure berating games that deviate from that. Oh, sorry, I skipped a line there. They have a strong opinions of good game design, and then they almost stick pleasure of games that deviate from that. Yeah, and that's like, that's one of the tougher things about being a game designer is, you know, there's a lot of standards nowadays when it comes to game design. And that's both a good and a bad thing, where that can hurt you if you stick too close to that standard, but at the same time, it's often risky if you don't. So you'll often get berated if you deviate from that, but you won't innovate unless you do. So it's a slippery slope. Well, good thing I discovered you in your mellow phase. Yeah, I'm happy you did too. I don't want people to remember me the way I was. I want them to remember me the way that I became. Hey. Because, you know, that phrase is like, remember me as I was, not how I become. Oh, sorry, I should have probably read that dialogue. But basically he's like, I am the Zoro King. Will you buy my flippers? And you'll be like, yeah, I'll buy your flippers. And he's like, good, 500 rupees. And you're like, wow, that's a lot of rupees. And he's like, well, then they're good flippers. And you're like, yeah, I mean, if they'll let me swim in water, that sounds pretty good. So you're like, okay, well, here's 500 rupees. And he's like, good day. And then he goes under the water. That's my reenactment from memory. I hope it was sufficient. I guess I could get, what all can I upgrade? I can upgrade shield and boomerang right now, and I think that's about it. Will she upgrade something else? Well, let's get that powered up boomerang. Hello there, did you drop this? I did! I like an honest person. I will give you something better in return. Oh, the amount of time I stood standing here throwing things into this pond just to see what little things that I could get out of it. Okay, so that was that. That's right, because you get the leveled up tunic in the dungeons. So yeah, I think this is all I can level up for now. I like an honest person. I'll give you something better in return. Yeah, now I can block fireballs. Look at that. So much easier to get the level 2 shield in this game than original Zelda. What a original Zelda. That's right, I'm talking shit. Oh, well, I guess I could. Oh, man. I don't know if I want to go all the way out with this, because this is such a time sink. This is definitely one of my bigger complaints about A Link to the Past is this sequence that takes so long. So basically every 100 rupees you throw in here, you get to level up your maximum bomb or arrow capacity. So it's, you know, it's legitimately useful, but the amount of time it takes to get all of that is just ridiculous. I mean, we get to the point too where instead of throwing 20 each time, I think it's 50. So it speeds up, but it still is like, you gotta wait for it to recycle the text and then pick it up again, and it just takes a long time. Yeah, just tedious. So Chris, tell me I'm not the only one, but don't you kind of wish someone made an adventure game like this, some camera angle and everything, but make it 3D? As a game designer, I kept thinking how easy it's be to make modular assets for a game like this. I mean, I think people have done that. That's sort of what A Link Between Worlds did in its own way. Honestly, the art style doesn't really matter to me, whether it's, you know, 2D or 3D. I just like Zelda-like games in general. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. I could see it being really cool in 3D, and I'm not really sure who else might have. I'm sure someone else has done it. I mean, like It'll Do did. It'll Do 2 was in 3D, and that was an indie title, although a pretty successful indie title because they had a console release, like a physical console release, and most indie titles never do that because, you know, who's gonna print those? And that one was 3D also. I need to actually play It'll Do 2 though. I think I played it for about an hour. And I mean, it was fun. I really liked it. It'll Do 1. Alright, I'll just upgrade this one more time and then I'll boogie. At least that way I'm not gonna like max out on rupees super soon and then end up kind of wasting that. I have a little luck. It's also a bit of a pain that they default on the lowest value. So it's like, come on, just default on the bigger one so I can spam through this faster. Alright, I'm out of here. At least I won't run out of those anytime soon. Gotta show you Libra Heart stuff. Solo Japanese duder making old games with old sprites and vibe, but then porns the hell out of it. Oh, I get what you mean. I mean, to each their own, really. Where's that bridge? Is it up here? Yeah, I think this is the right way. So it seems like tomorrow will be Pikmin based on the votes. So I hope folks are ready for that. Twitter kind of blew me away. They voted way more than I saw anywhere else. But I'm excited to play Pikmin. It's been a hot second since I've played through that franchise, and I just bought Hey Pikmin the other day from Toys R Us since they're going out of business, and I was like, well, I mean, I might as well get it while it's 20% off. Shit. Although, to be fair, Henry, people voted a pretty decent amount for The Witcher also. So I think that's at least reason enough to bring it back into the running the next time voting goes around. I mean, like, worst case scenario, I could always just do The Witcher on Sundays. Or if the Chrono streams ever become, like, successful in that, like, people really, really like the Chrono streams and you know, want to see more, I could always add a third Chrono stream to the schedule. So, anything's possible, my dude. I would actually stream more if I had the bandwidth, but since Nathan and I are making a game and Phosphorus soaks up a lot of time, and we're still working on Game Design Guide, it's like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm not sacrificing too much time in other projects. I also voted for The Witcher, but I could also just play it myself. Yeah, I do own at least the first and the second one. The third, I don't think that you really have to play them in sequential order, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, people really like the third one. Don't mind me, I'm just grave digging. I like that this kind of became a staple in the Zelda series after this. Well, I guess it was even a thing in the very first Zelda game. Something about, like, looting graves that just kind of, like, decided to stick. I guess it feeds into the, like, you know, spooky dungeon, like, anything could be an ancient temple that has been hidden for ages. Ow, get out of your mouse. You could also stream The Witcher, Jen. All I'm saying is it would be cool to get an Affinity stream team going. I know Eddie was doing Twitch for a little bit there, but he kind of stopped. Eddie, if you're out there. I guess. I'm just kidding. Also, who stacks these rocks like that? Why are there just 5 rocks piled on top of each other like that? How does that even happen? I'll be really happy if I manage to 100% this. I don't think I know where every single treasure is. But the randomizer has helped. I think I'm at that point where I'm only missing 3 chests in the randomizer. Which is not terrible. Whoops. Just I know you won't get around to it unless you stream it. I feel like you really need to get around to the third one. I would start on the second game and just watch a quick YouTube video summarizing the first game. Then you legit start with a fun game. Was really decent actually. Or 2 was really decent. I mean, like, I think there's a lot of attributes to the first one that are likable. I think it's just a little bit more difficult to get through it because it's a lot more cumbersome of a system.
I don't know who you are, but if you're going to go up to the mountain, will you take me with you? I lost my lamp, so I'm just gonna follow you, because I really don't have any other options. Watch your step. There are holes in the ground. Could you turn right here? Young man, are you also going to the mountain to look for the golden power? Just ahead is a mountain full of monsters. Many people have vanished in this mountain while looking for the golden power. I don't want to steer you wrong, so please don't get too involved in such a mad quest.
What a nice old man. He just doesn't want more people to die.
Turn right here. You know, I have a granddaughter who is your age. The king took her to the castle, and she never returned. Kidnapping those maidens must be part of the wizard's plot. I'm sure he's trying to somehow use the power of the descendants of the wise men.
Wouldn't that also make you too a descendant of the wise men? That's all I'm saying. You could have been one of those maidens, old man.
The missing maidens are still alive somewhere. I believe a hero will rescue them. I wait for that day. These are dangerous times. I talk too much anyway. Thank you for your kindness to an old man like me. I wanted to give you this. If you wander into a magical transporter, gaze into this mirror.
He gave you the magic mirror. This mirror is blue, clear, and beautiful. You feel like it's going to absorb you into another world. You could get lost looking into your own eyes. Alright, I'm out for the night, and this time using proper means of saying goodbye instead of ghosting. Good luck with the rest of the night, Chris. Thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out. And I hope you have a good night, too, if you haven't already dipped. Sometimes you have to do it. I don't mind ghosting, honestly. Like, I kind of do that, too, when I watch stuff. My mom asked what ghosting was today. That's kind of adorable, not gonna lie. Sometimes you have to do it. Never feels good, though. Yeah. Dude, lurking is perfect for a guy called Solid Snake. I really can't refute that either. That's pretty good. especially if it's a cardboard box. I think the lower one is the right one. I always goof it up though, every single time. Oh, nope, I think I was right this time. Yes! Oh, I do have a new bottle. Yeah. Mo Fairy, less scary. Cujo had a pretty good, solid, or snake voice. He did have a really good snake voice, not gonna lie. I should get one of those suckers to come on the stream with me sometime. I keep getting people like Nathan and Tony and even Jen being like, I should really join you for a stream at some point. And I'm like, yeah, you should. It'd be fun. And the people miss you. Or at least any of the old GDPG fans definitely miss a lot of those guys. Alright, time for the bunny. It's Bunny Link! I love this music. There's something so like, I don't know. It feels so like otherworldly and yet kind of charming in its own way.
Oh, who are you, Mr. Bunny? This world is like the real world, but evil has twisted it. The golden power is what changed your shape to reflect what is in your heart and mind. I'm always changing my mind, so I turned into a ball. But if you have a ball called the Moon Pearl, you can keep your original shape here.
What do you want? Do you have something to say to me, silly rabbit? I came here to get the power of gold, but now I'm a freak and I can't go back to the real world. If only I had the Moon Pearl from the Tower of Hera, I could go back to my original shape. I've got good reason to be stressed out, so back off. Shoo, shoo.
Don't mind me, I'll just transport back to that other world. And get this piece of art. Ka-cha! Yeah, I could go for any of the GDPG crew. I miss Nathan's smugness. It's Pre-Ravio? Pre-Ravio? Ravio. Where do I know that name? Oh, Ravio, the guy from A Link Between Worlds. It's true. I mean, I feel like that's why Ravio was in that that game, because it was like a direct callback to this game, you know? I kind of dig that. Nope. I bought a Ravio cosplay recently. Nice! That would be a really fun one to cosplay. And Ravio looks a lot like Link too, so that does like double up on that. The powered up boomerang's really nice here too, because the blue one won't quite reach through everything. Oh, can I make it past those fireballs? Nope. Oh, this room. So many fond memories. Boop. They really love the floor tile enemies in this game. Or like trap rooms, I guess. They just like trap rooms in general in this game, which is like one of the few things about this game that kind of makes me like iffy about the overall design is like trap rooms generally kind of stink. Like they're not a ton of fun, and especially if you expend a key to go to a dead-end trap room, it often kind of feels like a waste. And it only happens in a couple of dungeons in this game. But it makes me wonder what they were hoping to get out of trap rooms, you know? Ah. Hey friend, no ghosts. Oop, that's not what I need. Although I could have used that. Looked up Ravio, so Purple Bunny Link, basically. I'm excited to try it out at a con. Hell yeah. You'll have to share some pictures on the Discord when you do. I would love to see that too. You don't have to, obviously, if you're not comfortable with that, but Ravio cosplay sounds really cool. Or maybe it's Ravio? I probably pronounce everything wrong, to be honest. I'll def show pictures when I do. Yes! I love cosplay. Jen's cosplay is so cool that, like, before Jen, I didn't really have many thoughts about cosplay. Like, it's just not really something that entered my brain. And I was always like, yeah, cosplay's kind of cool, but, you know, like, I didn't really know what to think about it otherwise. But seeing Jen and, like, even helping her with some of the pen and needle stuff, because I helped her start her YouTube channel, and we'll probably still do more stuff with it at some point. But it, like, opened my eyes to just how complicated and how, like, interesting cosplay is, both in terms of a skill set, but also in terms of, like, a culture it is. And I think it's really cool stuff. Making me blush. You're better at cosplay than you think you are, Jen. This will be your first cosplay? Awesome. Then absolutely, like, share that with the world. I hope you have fun with cosplay. At least, cosplaying as Ravio. Because, like, cosplay can be hard too, but I think it's so good if you can have fun with it too. I've always wanted to cosplay, but I don't really have the physique currently. At least for most characters. Honestly, I kind of share that feel. But you'd be surprised, honestly. Like, sometimes you can't let that hold you back, you know? There's a big movement. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what Jen said. Like, there's a big movement in the cosplay world right now. Well, for a while, truthfully. That kind of is like, it doesn't matter, you know, what your ethnicity is, what your gender is, what your body shape is. Cosplay what you want to cosplay and just have fun with it. And if people judge you, then they don't deserve to enjoy cosplay anyway, you know? And like, I still understand where you're coming from too. Like, I get really self-conscious, and anytime I've joined Jen in cosplay stuff, I'm really like, you know, worried about it and just kind of like afraid to kind of like put myself out there like that. But if you can get that like thought out of your head and just kind of enjoy it, it'll be a really good time. Oh, get out of here. Ah, wow, that was immediate. At least I didn't take damage. Yeah, it's more about being your favorite characters and connecting with whatever fandom. Absolutely. I mean, like, I think cosplay is whatever you make it. And I think that's one of the... What Jen's saying is one of the best reasons to do it, you know? Like, it's enjoying a fandom in one of the most creative ways that you can. I want to cosplay characters I designed. I mean, that's pretty legit, too. I think that'd be a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff like that at Gen Con with, like, people that cosplay as, like, their Pathfinder characters. So it's, like, characters that don't exist in any kind of true fandom. They you know, exist in some kind of, like, persistent world, sure, but they're still their unique characters, and I think that's really cool, too. Oh! So this guy's a pain in the butt because... Oh, no. This guy's a pain in the butt because if you don't kill him and you fall, he gets all of his health back. So you have to kill him in one swoop. Oh, fuck this boss. This boss is the worst part of the game. Honestly, I love it. I think this boss is fantastic. It's just a pain in the butt if you get, you know, caught up in his cycle. I would love to make a robotic helmet. That'd be pretty sweet. I knew I wanted to play a Zelda character. Not Link or Zelda, though. I feel like those are very common. I definitely get that. Jen and I were talking about doing, like, she could cosplay as, oh, what was it? Would I be male Zelda and she'd be female Link? Or maybe it was the other way around. But we're talking about doing something like that too.
Ah! Wah! No, 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 no!
Whew. Oh. Goodness. Yeah, it would be sweet to do a smaller character. Midna is legit. Yeah, Midna is legit. Man, if I had to choose a secondary character to cosplay, I might do something real goofy, like the half, what are they called? The Skulltulas or Skull Tarantulas? Skulltula, I guess, according to some fandoms. But in some of the, I think both Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, there's like a person that's cursed into a Skulltula or Skulltula, and they have like half human, half Skulltula body. That would be fun to cosplay just because of how like creepy and weird it is. I would love to see that done in real life. Yeah, the Chrisia. That and the male and female Gerudo Link. Hell yeah. I was thinking of cosplaying Luchador Link because that's one of the costumes from Breath of the Wild that I really, really like. He's not really Luchador, but he looks Luchador.
Come on, come on.
Oh, so close. Yes! There we go. I do have some physique for Tingle. Tingle could be fun too. That would be pretty fun. I've seen some really good Skull Kid cosplays too. Nice. Skull Kid's pretty fun. Who would I cosplay? Maybe when I lose all my weight, I might cosplay Sid from Final Fantasy VII. Sid is my boy. That is definitely one of my favorite characters throughout that entire franchise. No matter where Sid is, I always love him. All right, that's the last pendant. So now, you can go get that ye old Master Sword. Oh, whoops, I actually overshot it.
My bad. Oh.
Get out of here. Little stupid, whatever you are. Rock fairy. No kiss for you. Get out of here. Alright guys, gotta go. Good night. Have a good night. Thank you so much for hanging out as always. Sorry we got started so late. I know that meant a little bit... Oh, I fell down a hole. I know that meant a little bit less Zelda time than you would normally hope to get, but I hope you had a good time either way.
Time to get that Master Sword.
What time is it anyway? 10:14? That's not bad. Still got at least a solid hour in this stream. We'll make some good progress. I do like the Lost Forest, or the Lost Woods song. Oh yeah, I need that. Ooh, hey, thanks, Fairy. Wow. What a turn of events. I wonder how fast the speed runs are for, like, non-glitch runs of this. I bet you it's still as low as, like, an hour, which is crazy to me. Although that might not be 100%. I bet you could be really clever about which pieces of equipment you go for. Ooh, here, let's read this. The hero's triumph on Cataclysm's eve wins 3 symbols of virtue. The Master Sword he will then retrieve, keeping the Knight's line true. How fucking cool. How awesome. I love this. Suddenly, Sahasrara contacts you telepathically.
Chris, it is extraordinary that you won the Master Sword that makes evil retreat. With this shining sword, I believe you can deflect the wizard's evil powers. The destiny of this land is in your hands. Please, Chris.
Please what, Sarashala? I could have deflected those wizards' laser beams with my bug net. Little did you know.
Chris, help! The soldiers are coming to the sanctuary! Aye!
Also, was that telepathic? It's just like, don't scream so loud in my brain. Get out of here. Yeah. Now I'm not scared of nothing. I always find it funny that the Master Sword is like often not the most powerful sword in the game for most Zeldas, even though like the Master Sword is the big deal. It's a little contradictory in that way, but it's still sort of fun. Don't mind me, just invading your brain to tell you stuff.
Do you understand?
I appreciate that you're jumping onto that bandwagon of making fun of that arbitrary confirmation text. Is there anything else I needed before I go to the Dark World? I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I got everything that I need at the moment. Not that you really need much. Yeah. Oh wait, right, duh. I just go straight up this time. Haha, just kidding. Oh, never mind. I don't go straight up this time. I was just kidding. Right, I gotta go up to the roof. It's been a little while since I played this game. My bad. Yuri from Shadow Heart Covenant would be dope to cosplay. I have no clue what that is, but just the name alone makes it sound dope. I don't remember, do arrows hurt these guys? I guess I could also just laser sword them because that's a thing now. Yeah! Yeah! I think arrows are probably still faster. My one complaint with the laser sword in this game is that it generally deals less damage than the actual sword swing, which makes sense from a balance perspective why they did that, but sometimes it's hard to like hit them with the sword when you're up close, because you'll still sort of often hit them with the laser sword, and it's like, no, I want to deal with the more damage. Yeah. I'm often too lazy to light these lanterns, but I might as well. That's how you make sure you don't miss any chests. Although I might have to get the chests in this area. Yeah, because it has a key. Boop. Oh. Oh, of course I can't reach it. I feel like that little block down there did something. Ha ha ha. Ooh. Do I need that? Nah, I don't need that. I'll still pick you up anyway. What's up, girl? So Shadow Hearts is a PS2 JRPG trilogy that I admit I'm adamant to educate folks on. Hey man, that's the sign of a good RPG. That's what got me into Breath of Fire. That's what got me into... I mean, honestly, that's what got me into Final Fantasy. But that one, I have no excuse for. I should have just been on that board from the beginning. Oh man, I feel like there was another really good JRPG Oh, you know what? It took me way too long to get on to Earthbound and Chrono Trigger. And that one I'm also a little ashamed that it took me a long time, but like it took people to be like, "Chris, this is a good game, you should play this." And I was like, "I don't know. Those games are hard to find." And to be fair, that was before you could get them on the virtual store. But man, Earthbound, like, that's my jam. Resonance of Fate. I think I played that one for a little bit and I had a lot of fun with it. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it had a story that kind of had me a little confused, but I still enjoyed the world quite a bit. There was an era of, was it Xbox 360 JRPGs that, I had an Xbox 360 for a while, and this was back when I had disposable income too, so I would just like go to a GameStop or some game store and I would just like buy a random game and or rent it in some cases when Blockbuster was still around. And get out of here. And so I remember playing a lot of weird JRPGs that I don't quite remember their names, and I only played a little snippet of most of them. And they were all really fun in really interesting ways. Magna Carta? That one also sounds really familiar. Oh, man. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, wow, he can take a lot of hits.
Yeah.
It felt satisfying for that to be the last one. Shadow Hearts 2 is a rester vampire that would use random items like, oh, you can shoot through those. Haha, I should be paying attention then. I guess I expected him to, also that guy definitely got a little stuck. Shadow Hearts 2 is a rester vampire that would use random items like frozen tuna and mailboxes as a weapon. That sounds pretty goofy. I could get into that though.
Haha.
Eternal Sonata. I definitely played that one. I remember that one pretty distinctly because the music themes in it were so like, they were interesting.
Aha, Chris, I have been waiting for you. I was hoping I could make Zelda vanish in front of your eyes. Behold, the last moment of Princess Zelda.
Wrestler. That's kind of what I thought you meant, but you know, I read it as it is, not what Chris Brain thinks it is.
With this, the seal of the 7 wise men is at last broken. It is now only a matter of time before the evil power covers this land. After all, the legendary hero cannot defeat us, the tribe of evil, when we are armed with the power of gold. Ho ho ho, now I must go.
Aw, man, where did he go? The Last Remnant? Man, that one sounds familiar too. Maybe I played that one and not Resonance of Fate. That might be the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, so you mean to say you would like to be totally destroyed? Well, I can make your wish come true.
Joke's on you, I'm gonna kill you with a bug net. Bring it!
Ha 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 ha.
You all thought that the Master Sword was the ultimate weapon. Well, take that! I love that this is a thing. It's probably realistically an oversight on the developers or the designers who never thought that this would be like a thing that players would do. But it could equally be... Oh, right, I forgot he does lasers. Tales of Vesperia. I like Tales of Vesperia. It's not my favorite Tales game, but it was pretty fun. That was one I only played for a little bit. I wasn't super compelled by the main character in that one, though. I'm more of a Tales of Symphonia kind of boy, which, to be fair, that one's really, really hard to beat.
Well met, like the true hero that you are. But I am not ready to admit defeat yet. I will draw you into the dark world.
I'm literally just reading these off my shelf. I mean, like, that's the way to do it. That's how you know that they're good, though, because you've played them.
Chris at his eyes, Sarashalaha. I am communicating to you across the void through telepathy. The place where you now stand was the Golden Land, but evil power turned it into the Dark World. The wizard has broken the wise men's seal and opened a gate to link the worlds at Hyrule Castle. In order to save this half of the world, the Light World, you must win back the golden power. You must also rescue the 7 maidens who Aghanim sent to the Dark World. As members of the bloodline of the 7 wise men, they have power that will surely help you. The maidens are locked in hidden dungeons full of evil creatures and dangerous traps. The Palace of Darkness should be your first goal in this world. Chris, I can rely on only you. Please make this old man's wishes come true. I beg you.
Thanks, Sarashala. Did you sequence break the game? You were already in the Dark World? No, that was, so they give you a taste of the Dark World when you're en route to, the 3rd dungeon for the Pendant of Power. And that's why you need the magic mirror, so that you can get to the or at least, like, bypass a piece of the terrain and then just, like, come back to the Light World. So you're only there for about 5 seconds. But it's enough to get you, like, thinking, like, whoa, what is this place? I could have sequence broke it if I wanted to, but because I know another trick on the bridge of Death Mountain. But yeah, no glitches this time. Okay, so I could go straight there. Yeah, that's probably for the best. Yeah, I'll just go straight there. For the most part, they generally want you to stick to the correct order, but you can get away with a lot of other stuff if you choose. And I definitely have enough money to do it, so I'm not worried about that. This is that point, too, where you're like, man, I kind of want that blue tunic. These guys deal a lot more damage than they did in the Light World. Don't mind me, just swinging on through here. Okay, oh, that's a blue monkey.
I'm Kiki, the monkey, Kiki. I love rupees more than anything. Can you spare me 10 rupees?
Yeah, okay. Never give him anything. I love that as an option.
Kiki, good choice. I will accompany you for a while. Kiki.
All right, monkey. One more time.
Kiki, if you give me 100 rupees, I will open the entrance for you. Kiki.
Try to open it yourself. It's not gonna happen, Link.
Kiki, good choice. Then I get 100 of your rupees. Kiki.
But what are you even gonna do with these rupees? That's the real question. Pew, 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 pew. All right. I think right side is the better one to start with. At least that's what my brain is telling me. Blue dye has natural armor granting qualities. That's basically how it works. Also, I haven't done this yet. But if you use magic powder on these suckers, they turn into legit fairies. So they're evil fairies, and the powder turns them into good fairies. So much more useful in this game than they were in Zelda 1. Oh boy. Boop, boop. I got laser swords. I ain't afraid of nothing. Ah, what's that? You're gonna stand there and mimic my every move? Oops. Didn't mean to do that. But I got news for you, buddy. Have some arrows of death. And now we get these, what do you call those? Those like quick terminals at airports, you know? The like horizontal escalators, you know? Oh, there's a word for them. I'll never think of it though. I guess they're just like treadmills, really. And here's a taste. They're like, ooh, what do you do with these things? We're not gonna tell you. I wonder what that magic powder is exactly. Moving sidewalk. I like that as a term for it. I think that'll just be what I refer to them as from now on. Ow. Stop that. Well, I got a key, which I will need. Thought I'd be able to get a little bit more than that, but that's okay. I bet you there's a secret door in one of these dungeons that I've never found. Because I know I'm still missing 3 treasure chests that I've never opened in my randomizer runs. And I've gotten so used to these dungeons that I've stopped trying to blow up the walls that I don't think contain anything. I bet that's my fallacy of what I'm missing. Which I could just like look up a map on some walkthrough somewhere, but that takes away some of the fun. And for the purposes of, you know, playing these games casually, it ultimately doesn't matter. Because it's not going to halt progression. At this point, Zelda games started getting a lot nicer. Even if they still believed in their trap rooms, where they'll waste players' keys. But that's okay. So I guess really either of those would have been good to go first. I think this statue doesn't move though, for some reason. So I think they want you to go left, then right, and then push that statue, and then move to the center. It's one of those like optimization sequences. Like that's stuff that speedrunners would care about, but that's okay. Let's see. I could go. Yeah, I'll go down first. I think I'm calling it tonight. Thanks for the entertainment, Chris. Thanks for hanging out, man. Always a blast having you here, Henry. And sorry again that it started so late. I'll try to make sure that doesn't keep happening. But you know how it goes. Life and work and all that jazz. But either way, I hope you have a good night too, my dude. And I think this is one that I always seem to forget, but I think there's just a treasure chest right here. Yeah, every time I always just pass it up. And then I see it later and I'm like, how do I get there? And it's so silly. Do 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 do. And now I'm on the side. And we'll just take this little door up here. Or staircase, I guess. Yeah. Now I can get the good stuff. Oh, I guess falling down that first time was sort of redundant. I could have hit both of those chests with that left side, but that's okay. Oh, I guess that's why they let you move this statue, because you're more likely to go up that staircase back up. I see what they're doing there. It's good job, level designers. You were clever about how you tried to remove the pains of repeating space in this game. Boop, boop. Yeah. Down you go. Whoa, almost down I went. There you go. Yeah, I want to go north. So pick that up, throw that guy over there. I'm pretty sure there's a better way of doing this, but that's how I choose to do it. Maybe they really just want you to jump off that first ledge in that other doorway that I went to. But I don't want to play by the rules. Get out of here. That second guy is mean because he could push you off that cliff pretty easily. Whoop! Whoa, I didn't kill... I guess there were two of them. Sneaky. Alright, pick that up. Ooh, bombs. Too bad I'm at full capacity. That's one of those ones where you're like, wait, why did they give me bombs in such a random spot? There might be a reason for this. Well, Chris, in fact, there is. Ooh, could have passed that one up on accident. This is one of those points in the randomizer that I always start getting stuck because I never find the lantern until the end of the game. And I'm like, do I try to navigate that space in pitch black? And I've done it a couple of times. And it's interesting. It's the trick to navigating in the pitch black is to charge your sword, because the one thing that shows over the pure black layer is the sparkle on the tip of the sword. So you can kind of use that to assess whether or not you're moving. It's kind of fun, actually. But it can easily soak up like half an hour or 20 minutes at least if you're not looking at a map. Ha! Oh, I love that. Boop! Just flip you over, because you're a turtle. And the hammer is so powerful that it shakes the ground. I found the compass! Yeah, might as well use my magic powder on this guy, because otherwise he's just gonna hit me, and then I'm gonna get sad, and then I'm gonna have spent more magic on that getting hit by him than I would have just turning him into a fairy. Yeah. Oops. Yeah. So how long does it typically take you to finish this one? Randomizer's usually faster for me. I think for me, this playthrough usually takes me maybe 4 or 5 hours if I play it kind of the way that I'm doing it right now, where it's just kind of like very casual. Like, I'm not trying to speedrun it. I have no idea how long it would take me though if I tried to speedrun it, just because I've never actually tried. But I might try that at some point. I think that would be a lot of fun. Oh, I missed it. Oh, doofus Chris. And obviously, like, I haven't totally memorized this game, so, you know, compared to a speedrunner, I'll make way more mistakes than they would. But of all the Zelda games, this is definitely the one that I know the best. But I guess that's just what happens when you grow up playing this game and you play it, you know, dozens of times. This is one of those ones that took me forever to figure out as a kid. Like, how do you know that shooting him in the eye is going to do anything, you know? And I bet you there's one of those little, well, maybe there aren't any of those in the Dark World, but Sarashrala might give you a hint. But really, I think it's just more of a matter of, like, never have you seen a green one of those at any point in the game. At least I'm pretty sure that's green. I'm red-green colorblind, so I'm saying that with half confidence. So never have you seen one of that color, at the very least. But also, like, why is it there? It's just kind of sitting in a corner, you know? So it kind of gets you thinking, like, maybe there's something going on with this one. Makes sense. Did you say this was your favorite? Oh yeah. This one's definitely my favorite. And not to say that, like, the other ones are bad by any means, but this is one of those ones that I could play over and over again and very possibly never actually get tired of it, just because I enjoy it that much. I was listening to a podcast the other day. Actually, I think it was the one that one of my other streamer friends, Foxen, which she's definitely worth a look at too. She plays very different games than I do, but I enjoy her as a streamer. But anyway, she was on a podcast and I was listening to it, and one of the questions they asked her was, what is one game that you would love to experience again as if it were the first time? And it really got me thinking, because, like, I really enjoy this game, and I feel like my default answer would be either A Link to the Past or Breath of Fire 4, just because those are my two favorite games. But I don't know, because, like, I still enjoy playing this one a lot, knowing where everything is. So then I was like, maybe one of the games I would like to experience again for the first time would be a horror game, like something like Dead Space that really got my heart pounding. But the more I think about it, the more I would love to see how I would approach this game if I had never played it. Mine would be Morrowind. That's a good one. I would, honestly, if I play Morrowind, it really would be like me playing it for the first time. But yeah, that was a good question. It got me thinking more than I thought it would. Because usually the questions are like, what's your favorite game? Or maybe like, what is a game that left an impact on your life? And those are good questions too. But a game that you would like to re-experience, like, that's not one you hear often. Chris, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. This world used to be the Golden Land where the Triforce was hidden, but because Ganon, the boss of thieves, wished the world was transformed. I'm sure he's intending to conquer even our light world after building his power here. He is trying to open a larger gate between the worlds near the castle using our powers, but the gate is not open completely yet. If we 7 maidens come together, we can break the barrier around Ganon's hiding place. I will tell you where the other girls are held. I believe you will destroy Ganon. I will return to my original form at that time. Do you understand?
Yes.
May the way of the hero lead you to the Triforce. I clocked over 5,000 hours into it during middle and high school. Damn, son. That is commitment. I think at most I've logged maybe 160 hours on things like Stardew Valley. And that was like the most I think I've ever spent in one like complete session of, like, session meaning like continuous playthrough through multiple sessions, so maybe that was a poor choice of words, but you get what I mean. Yeah, that, and I really did spend a ridiculous amount of time on Breath of the Wild, which is silly that I've never finished it. I guess it was the same thing for me in Skyrim too, but I could do something like that with Morrowind. When I first played Morrowind in middle school, or maybe it was high school, I can't remember. I think my like gamer brain wasn't ready for it yet, so I kind of just ran around, kind of like what most people do with like GTA, or they just most people don't like even play the campaign, they just kind of run around and just do stuff. I think that's kind of what I did with Morrowind, and it led me to be very confused about what I should be doing. Where's Dungeon 2? Where should I go? Oh, yeah, I could go to that's not the swamp, or maybe it is? Yeah, I think that is the swamp. Oh no, I spend 25k hours in League of Legends, 7 years of commitment, but that's just crazy when I think about it. Then that's why I'm afraid to even boot up games like League of Legends. But I mean, all the more power to you. If you love a game that much, that's beautiful. That's like magic to me. Like, if I ever work on a game that gets that level of love, God, I could die happy. But that'll be my like 50, 60 year journey as a game dev until I get to that point. Is what I'm kind of looking at it like. Ow. Just get out of here. Oop, that was the wrong button. Alright, watch this. Oh, wait. What? Can I do it? Can I do it? Oh, there's a way where you can dash and hit the hammer at the same exact time. So you could just like just plow through those things. It's a little tricky to get right. I might not be remembering it totally right, but it's fun when you get it to work. Can't remember what's in here now. It might just be one of those guys that give you tips. Take some rupees, but don't tell anyone I gave them to you. Keep it between us, okay? It's as if it's a secret to everybody. My wallet wasn't big enough for all those. Random topic, has the channel awesome stuff still kicking in the Chicago area? Is the channel awesome stuff still kicking in the Chicago area? I feel like these are all gonna be rupees. It's okay, they're all 20s. It's the channel awesome stuff. I don't know the channel awesome stuff actually. I hear you. I too would be ecstatic to create a game that gets only 10 hours of commitment, let alone 5,000. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel. Most games I work on either get maybe like, you know, an hour or two at most. I mean, maybe a little bit more depending. Some of the games I worked on at Phosphor might have gotten a little bit more time than that, but only by kids probably. Hashtag change the channel? I have no idea what you're talking about. Am I missing information? Whoops. That's right, Chris. They're gonna do a lot more damage to you now. You should be more careful. Haha. Oh, there's the guys that the like Link to the Past version of the likes that will tongue your shield away from you. Evil things. Although they'll steal other stuff too, I think. The group that did... Oh, that the Nostalgia Critic is part of. Ah, that's right. I forgot that the Nostalgia Critic was part of a, like a media group. I assume they're still around here. I mean, Nostalgia Critic is... Is the Nostalgia Critic still making stuff? Honestly, it's been a little while since I've watched his stuff, so he might not be making stuff. I did really enjoy the Nostalgia Critic for a long time, though. I guess I still would, really, if I loaded up that channel again. Oh, that's right. I could get the medallions now, too. I should probably do that. Nostalgia Critic has gone downhill, in my opinion. Oh, that's a shame. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not totally surprising. Most shows, no matter where you are, like, they all kind of go downhill if they go on a little too long, you know? It's just sad to see it happen at the same time. Whoop. Well, I don't really need money. The company they're all part of just collapsed within the last month. Oh, that sucks. See, stuff like that makes me really sad, though, because even if a show dies, I always wish the media groups that support them and kind of help them come to fruition live on. And I know that doesn't always happen either, but it's nice to like if Devolver Digital were to die, right? I would genuinely be pretty sad because that's a great media group. And I don't think they find a lot of success with their indie films, but I think they could do a great job at getting indie films and games out there and like more in the limelight where they probably wouldn't get a lot of recognition otherwise. Or at least not without a lot of extra work. That's convenient. Let's see. Company just. He was good when he started, but has moved into skits and less actual nostalgia. Yeah, it sounds kind of like he just ran out of stuff to do. Oh no, Devolver Digital is fine. I was just saying if Devolver Digital collapsed, I would be really, really sad. Just because I think they're a boon for the indie scene, both in film and in games. Still sad though about Awesome Media? Channel Awesome? Oh, that's right, I get the hookshot here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. There's a big Google Doc authored by disgruntled former members of Channel Awesome that talked about sexism and other abusive behaviors of the company. Oh, hence the hashtag change the channel. Oof. Yeah, that's gonna be the make it or break it when it comes to the survival of stuff like that. It sucks that they ended up being not good people. That makes me kind of sad. At least, like, that stuff is getting weeded out now. I'm sure it won't totally disappear for a while, but I'm glad people are speaking up against stuff like that. Like, especially when stuff like that is outed in the games industry, I'm happy that that's brought to the limelight, because it's like, as an industry I genuinely love and care about, I see zero place for sexism in here, and I don't want any part of that to be in our culture. I remember except 2 left. Went from 40 to 2. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty dramatic. Dang, man. Well, I mean, they reap the consequences, I guess. I'm surprised I didn't hear anything about that. Not that I pay super close attention to that stuff nowadays, but... Get out of here. Yeah. Within a month. Man, that's so wild. Don't mind me, I'll just sneak on through. Oh, he booped me. The one tough thing about this level is that if you open that water valve early, I think in some cases you can't close that water valve, so you just have to leave the dungeon and come back. Yeah, I didn't think there was anything up here. I think I did hear about this as background noise, but I didn't pay attention to it. Yeah, honestly, that might have been the same thing for me, too. There's so much stuff happening right now in the media that it's just, like, tough to keep all the facts straight. Oh. That's right, I don't have the hookshot yet, so I can't just, like, cheese that. I think that's gotta be the big key. Probably. Oh. Whoa. Man. Just wasting this rupee bag space. Oh, all that money. Yeah, there we go. Now I can get that hook shot. And a second response basically trying to give a rebuttal to accusations that came across as we weren't wrong. Like, they were basically saying, like, we didn't do anything wrong. Because, yeah, if that's the case, I could see even more people just kind of being like, nah, we're done with this entire media group. I think there's a key on the other side, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. Aw, man, I love that too, because it's like, oh, you just got the hook shot. You know what will reward you for doing? Testing out that hook shot. And the cherry on top, uh-oh. Oh, man. Now I'm like at the edge of my seat to hear what else cruddy stuff came out of that. I guess I don't have to kill that guy.
Drain the water.
Let's see. I think I don't have to go back up to get to the treasure. I think I just have to go down. Yeah, there we go. I won't waste my time going back up there. Oh, it was nothing anyway. I always thought that the death sounds when you kill these guys, I always thought it sounded like, "Hello, rabbit."
Real rabbit.
I don't know why. It's one of those things where it's like, you can hear a lot of weird things out of old retro game sound effects. I'm pretty sure there were no treasures on that other side. It was just a, like, trick room. Which I did like because they show you that other room, so you're like, oh, how do I get over there? So it's enough to, like, give you that hint. It's like, that's a level design thing I tried to incorporate in the Game Jam game we just did, which kind of worked out. One of the former producers was accidentally revealed to have been let go for being a sexual deviant and groomer. A guy previously had a spotless reputation. Oof. Yeah. That is no bueno. Oh. Ha! You can't reach me. Easy bosses are easy. Whoa. Oh. Okay, so really just don't grab them while down because they'll kind of overlap you. That's just like a positioning issue. Oh, we got it back. It's like the ultimate foot and mouth. Yeah. And it's all going down in your backyard, Chris. It really is. Man, that's crazy. That sucks too, because we're already like few and far between like having really good media groups in Chicago, or the Chicago area for that matter. So it's like, we don't need less, we need more good media groups and good creators. That's like the only thing that I'm actually afraid of, because there's a big movement right now in the games industry to create unions, which I'm not at all opposed to. But one of the things I'm the most scared of is if it like discourages new studios from starting in Chicago, and it's just like, no, we need as many new studios here as we can. But anyway, I digress. I don't want to talk about that because that's like game development politics, and that's not for this stream. Chris, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. The Triforce will grant the wishes of whoever touches it as long as that person lives. That is why it was hidden in the Golden Land. Only a select few of its location, but at some point that knowledge was lost. The person who rediscovered the Golden Land was Ganondorf, the evil thief. Luckily, he couldn't figure out how to return to the light world. Well, remember that you have magical powers which only the hero can make the most of. There are some other magical warping checkpoints like the one you saw in Death Mountain. By using them, you can go between the two worlds and find the evils hidden in the Dark World. You are the only one who can destroy Ganondorf, the thief, no, Ganon, the evil king of darkness. Do you understand? Yep. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. I guess this is a good point to put out there, that all of my opinions are not reflective of the opinions of any company or organization I work for. I've already been scolded once for being too opinionated on social media, so I want to put that out there to cover my butt. I don't mind the game development politics discussion. Yeah, it's just weird. It's one of those things that I just don't want to like make anyone upset or you know, I guess tap a nerve when I really don't need to, because the union stuff is really heated right now, especially in regards to IGDA, and like I support both, and it's like I don't want to like put fuel on that fire. After wandering into this world, I turned into this shape. I enjoyed playing the flute in the original world. There was a small grove where many animals gathered. I want to see that place again. I buried my flute there with some flower seeds. Will you try to find it for me? Yes, Wei. Then I will lend you my shovel. Good luck. Ba-da-ba-da! You borrowed the shovel. You can dig in many places. You'll never know what you'll find. It's so sad, though, that they don't let you keep the shovel after you find the flute. It's one of the crueler choices, because I like using the shovel. Ah, I'm on top of the animals. Oh, well, yeah, I guess I haven't seen this guy yet. No, come back, buddy. So I guess they assume you would see him first, which I didn't do. But, you know, it's the same guy. Ah, no! No! Okay, I guess I just have to do this lower. I have unions at my work and they're awful. It's not as much ensuring workers' rights as much as it is bullying the company and hindering progress because they aren't 100% satisfied. And that speaks to some of my experience with unions too. Honestly, it's one of those things that can definitely do good and bad. Because like unions, my father was part of an automobile or an auto workers union. And they've definitely been like really good in some regards and really not terrible, but definitely not good in other regards. And so like that leaves me a little conflicted. I was technically part of a union when I worked at a grocery store, and it was like I paid them and literally got nothing out of it. So it's like, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Chris, but it looks like I can't play my flute anymore. Please take it. If by chance you go to the village I lived in, please give it to a tired old man you'll find there. Well, my mind is getting hazy. Please let me hear the sound of the flute one last time. I support the original intent of unions when it comes to workers' rights, and I think that's where, like, I definitely see eye to eye. To me, it's just, like, it could be so hit or miss, you know? Like, it could either turn out great if that core intent stays true, but it could also go amiss and then end up kind of, like, making as many problems as it's solving. The one thing that I do truly feel is that a lot of the games industry right now has a lot of problems that are clearly not getting solved. And I don't see any other strong enough force to force that change to happen. I think in a perfect world, that change would come out of an abundance of game studios and like good places to work. So like game studios would have to naturally fix themselves in order to be more compelling to bring in more employment. But there's still so many more workers than jobs that's not naturally going to happen, not for a little while anyway. So how long have you been in the game dev industry? The thing about unions is they make it difficult changing things. Yeah, and that's why I'm like I'm definitely in support of unions, but at the same time I'm not convinced that they're going to solve the problems that people actually want solved. But I've been in game dev since I went to school in 2010 for game dev. This will be a good thing to kind of just chat away and do. So I entered the workforce. Oh, is it just equipped? Where is it? Oh, it's probably... Where's the... Oh, there it is. Oh, I guess I just have to have the flute out. So I entered the workforce in 2012, and I've been in and out of the industry ever since. So officially I've been in industry for... Let's see... 2, 4... 4 or 5-ish years? No. 4-ish years, and then I was in corporate software for 3 years. Oh, do I have to leave? Oh, you're gonna make me leave and come back. Oh, that's such a pain in the butt. But yeah, that's where people throw a lot of flack at IGDA, because they can't act as a, like, legal force. They can't, as far as I understand, they can't, like, take a studio to court on behalf of, you know, a band of developers for mistreatment, for example. And so there's not a lot of, like, and maybe they could for all I know, and then maybe it's just a matter of, like, IGDA needs more funding for that. But yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I know enough about the legality of organizations and all that stuff to know what the best answer is. That's also kind of why I want to, like, withhold most of my opinions to general things, just because I don't want to, like, sway someone one way or the other when I don't actually know enough. I've been contemplating studying game dev. I've been contemplating studying game dev. Was the title worth the time and money? I've heard it was better to get a degree in computer science instead. Yeah, for the most part, it's safer, right? Because if you can't find a job in industry, you can at least work in, like, corporate software, which honestly generally has better employment benefits. Like, they'll pay you better, they'll probably have better PTO and you know, things like that, and you won't be crunching. And, you know, not that all game studios are terrible at that either. Like, Phosphor's pretty in the middle. Like, you know, they could be a lot better, but they could be way worse. And I've worked at some of those way worse kind of scenarios, like intern-run companies and stuff. And Phosphor has been improving over the years. I know Phosphor, they've gone through their times where they kind of built a bad rep for themselves, but I think that they're on the right trajectory to being a really good workplace. And they treat the people in there pretty well now. It just sucks that we had to go through some layoffs and kind of go through some growing pains to kind of find out a lot of that the hard way. By the way, I'm looking for a heart piece. That's what the point of this is, in case anyone was wondering why Chris keeps shoveling over and over again. We aren't allowed to carry much at work. If we are seen by union workers and they report it, they will file a grievance. Unfortunately, they aren't speedy when it comes to scheduling the moving of stuff. I mentor students who are looking into the game dev industry. If you want a tech side of games, go for a computer science degree. Usually recommend studying software engineering or computer engineering. I think that's solid advice, honestly, because it's a lot more flexible. And I've worked with a lot of game devs or ex-game devs who now work in web development or like CRM or databases, and you know, they're happy with their jobs now. So it's really just a matter of keeping your options open. Honestly, if like Phosphor got really, you know, mad at me and decided that I wasn't worth it and, you know, let me go, obviously I'd be heartbroken because I like working at Phosphor. But I would probably go back and work in corporate software for a little while and like rebuild a lot of my finances until I found another game dev job. Especially because, like, there's not a lot in Chicago. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I officially hit my 1-year anniversary at Phosphor today, which was really nice. And it's been a good learning experience for me, learning how to be a producer. Plus my boss is like, hey, there it is! My boss has been really good at mentoring me, even if I don't always agree with his philosophies. But in general, like, it's the first time in a long time, in my entire history of being a professional, that I've ever gotten any sense of actual guidance. Most time, people just kind of like throw you to the wolves, and they're like, well, have fun figuring out how to do your job. And I'm like, but I need help. The biggest issue is getting a degree in game programming or game production, and then after a few years getting burnt out, and then you're stuck with a degree that isn't viewed as very versatile. Absolutely, I 100% agree with that. And that's what a lot of people I went to school with ended up having to deal with, because they got like an associate's in game design like me, or they got an associate's in game programming, or where am I going now? Number 3 is the forest. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, because I have the hookshot now. Or things like game art, right? And a lot of people I went to school with couldn't get jobs afterward, because not only was there not enough jobs, and they needed to not be interns because they needed to actually make livable wages. So they just got screwed and ended up working at like retail shops because their degrees weren't worth anything. And it really, really sucked, because I worked with some spectacular designers that deserved way better than that. But yeah, that's definitely a good reason to not corner yourself in your degree. And honestly, like, in the game industry, I don't think we usually look for game development specific degrees. Like, we're not more likely to hire a game programmer, personally, I think anyway, than like someone who just has a computer science degree. Also, thank you for the 1 year congrats. The biggest issue is getting a degree in game. Oh, I already read that. Yeah. This might not be a popular opinion, but I'm a strong believer in not getting your undergrad related to something specific like games. Getting into specifics is more what graduate degrees are for. I would agree with that, actually. Yeah, like if you were to get even if you were to get a master's in like game design, I feel like most studios would look at that and be like, cool, but what do we do with that? Like, it still is one of those things of like, unless you're going into academics of game design or game development, you know, even getting a master's seems kind of overkill. I'm totally cheating my way to get this early. They expect you to have the superpower gloves by now. Got that magic cape, though. Especially if you're planning on living in the US. Yeah. Boop, boop. I don't think this is anything anymore. Oh, it is bombs, though. Let me think. I know there's a... How many heart pieces do I have? I only need one more. Let's see. How many more dungeons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the final. Well, I do think I'll definitely beat this in the next stream. I don't think I'm going to try to force it tonight. Just because it's already past 11 and we have some stuff at work I got to make sure that I have a good brain for. So I'm going to get this last heart piece, and then I think I'll call the stream for the night. And then I think off screen I'll just... Well, I guess I could keep the stream going for it, but I'll get another round of those bomb and arrow capacity upgrades. And I'll save the rest of these dungeons for next week. And then we can start Link's Awakening, which has been sitting at the post office waiting for me to pick it up. Yeah! So many full hearts. Oh, actually, I'm just gonna use this down here. Ha! My shield was on my back. Joke's on you. I have my degree in computer engineering, and I plan on getting a master's in something game-related. Undecided, but likely art. Ooh, I feel that will make me very marketable. I definitely feel that. If I go back to school, I would go back for either computer sciences or because I really should learn things like C# and C++, or at least get good at it, because I'm like designer scripting level, and that's not good enough, really. I think it's either that or I would go for traditional animation, because ooh, I would love. Oh, but not likely art. I gotcha. I mean, that's also fair. I would love to go for traditional animation though, because I'm a huge sucker for hand-drawn animations. And in the game industry, you know, it doesn't come about enough, but when it does, ooh, it's so good. Like if I were to make a game like that remake of what was it called? Monster Curse of the Dragon something. I'm learning either design or production. Production's really good. Design's also really good too, but I'm definitely of the opinion that game design is a really inherently difficult thing to teach in a classroom setting, especially because it's a field that branches out really thin. Because there's all sorts of designers, and oftentimes studios they still don't totally know what to do with designers a lot of the time. Not very often, but it looks amazing when they do it. I know, right? Oh, I love it. And like, as an indie dev, like, obviously I work at Phosphor, but I still like making indie games on the side. I would love to be good enough of a traditional animator to be able to do that on my own. Because as I am now, I'm hot garbage when it comes to animation. But like, yeah, that's a skill I'd love to practice. If I did that, I would go to the Savannah College of Art and Design, because the artists that come out of there are amazing. But I ain't got money like that. Production is usually coupled more with either art or programming. Honestly, production is good as a backup for anything, because if you're good at management, that will make you a good lead. And there's, I think, a better understanding of what makes for good leads in the industry nowadays than there used to be. At least it's something that's probably forever changing. But it used to be that, you know, if you were like the best programmer, then the natural promotion would be to promote you to a lead programmer, and then you would be managing other programmers. This is actually a conversation I had with my boss today, talking about how, like, that's not an effective model. Ideally, you know, you promote the people into leads that are good at managing. You could be a mediocre designer or a mediocre artist or a programmer and be a fantastic lead, because you're not the ones with your hands in every single on the nitty gritty, you know. And then you want to make sure that you keep the people that are really good at those things. Like if you're an exceptional level designer, it's really important to keep those people as exceptional level designers unless they want to branch out. And that's why it's important to be able to make that pay scale increase too, because as it is, like, if you're going to make more money as a lead, you'll probably just want to get promoted to a lead so you make more money. It's a very interesting conversation. And that was one of the things that I talked with my boss about, that I was like, I full-heartedly agree with this philosophy. Because, yeah, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you'll be good at managing people doing that thing. I mean design, not production. Production is usually coupled more with either art or programming. I mean design. I gotcha. That all makes sense. And also, well, I mean, both can happen, right? Like, I went down the design route, and I ended up working as a producer. In my mind, designers and producers work in tandem, if not in parallel, where they do the same things, just have different applications for both. Of course, producers spend more time on things like timelines and general day-to-day task management, while designers focus more on player interaction. I mean, like, I'm speaking out of my ass at this point, but I think their general approach to trying to make the best game possible is very in line with each other. I mean, and that's the same with art. I don't want to, like, say that artists and programmers don't care about that, because they absolutely do. I just think that when I look at a build of the game and I deliver feedback to the designers, it's going to be similar to how, you know, a lead designer might do the same thing for their people too. But honestly, that's one of those things that probably changes from studio to studio too. But that's one thing I do like about being a producer at Phosphor, at least, is like, I'm not going to dictate design, but I do get to help direct things in a way that'll hopefully make for a better finished product. Hopefully. I do genuinely have a lot of excitement for the things that we're working on right now. I just can't talk about them. Someday I'll get to talk about them, and I'll just rattle about them all the time. Maybe I'll even stream it if I can. It's a little easier said than done. Yeah. You know what? I'll stream for an extra 10 minutes. We'll round this out at the solid 3-hour mark. So what should I do in the meantime? I could... let's see. I could actually start getting those medallions. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the village. I'm gonna get my little bird friend. I would love to hear, and when you can. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you're interested. I don't ever want to, like, ramble about this stuff and have people be like, "Ugh, Chris, I don't care." Having security clearance when I do enter the game industry, I'll already have a practice of keeping secrets. And, you know, I feel like that's good. It's one of those things where I look at that as a standard practice in the game industry, where I'm just like, why do we care so much? If you're that afraid that someone's going to steal your idea, then maybe have better ideas. Maybe that's a little harsh of me, but I don't know. I think there's little value in keeping those secrets unless you have a clever marketing reason for it, you know? Not that I rebel against it. Like, I do a good job keeping Phosphorus secrets. But I think you guys get what I mean. I could also go up into the dark woods. I'm trying to remember if... oh, you know what? I can get... oh, I might not have enough money now that I spent it all. Ha 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 ha. Well, you know what? I'll try doing the treasure game, because you can get a piece of heart out of here.
Hi, may I help you? You can open 2 chests for 30 rupees. Why don't you play?
Yeah, I should have saved some rupees for this. Yeah. I think it's a universal practice in all industries. Yeah, I guess that's a pretty good point. I guess there's just often more controversy about it in the games industry because, like, that's where you get those Kotaku articles and all that stuff. But Yeah, I think you're right. No one wants their secrets revealed. Hey, I got it! Wow. On the last attempt, too. Well, now I definitely don't have enough to... Oh, you know what? Maybe they don't make me pay for that? Well, I can at least save that little buddy. I might get some money out of here, too. Paranoia, you spend lots of money. Ooh, yeah, that's a lot of money. In hopes that your product is successful, but having those ideas floating around, anyone can beat you to the punch. And that's absolutely true. Like, in a lot of cases, like, you know, they could beat you to the punch, and even if it's an inferior product, it could still end up making... Oh, right, I can't do this yet because I don't have these gloves. But what I can do is go to the light world and get my magic use cut in half. But yeah, if the inferior product could end up, you know, satiating everyone's want for that, and then by the time you release your product, you know, no one cares anymore. It's definitely like a thing that happens a lot. I just think in games like, I don't know, being smart about it, you're probably usually safe.
Hey, blast you for waking me from my deep dark sleep. I mean, thanks a lot, sir. But now I will get my revenge on you. Get ready for it. Is that okay with you, sir?
No, what are you doing to me? Ah!
I laugh at your misfortune. Now your magic power will drop by 1/2. Congratulations. Now do your best, even though I'm sure it won't be enough. Have a nice day. See you.
What a cute little guy. It's so silly. And with social media, ideas can float internally, making internationally, making legal action much more difficult, if at all, when it comes to intellectual theft. Oh, for sure. I think that's absolutely true. I guess when it comes to things like high concept design, I still sort of have that opinion of like ideas are pennies. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's all about execution that will make a game good. And obviously, good high concept design can make for an easier time making that good game. But I don't think it's the make it or break it, honestly. You could take a really terrible high concept design and make an incredible game experience out of it. You could take a great high concept design and take an incredible game out of that too. Like, there's nothing stopping you either way. Okay, so I can't save that guy until I get the power gloves. Did I? I did buy the bottle from the one guy. Yeah, because there's only one more bottle, and I know where that is. What else was there in town that I didn't do? Maybe I did everything. Okay. Woo! Woo! I'm trying to remember. I don't think there's anything else in the dark woods other than the actual dungeon. Get out of here. I'm getting upset that you're not mentioning Mario paintings in walls or in buildings, on walls in buildings. I did the first time, but yeah, I've definitely stopped mentioning them. It is still silly to me, though. I love that they're there. Oh, that's right. This loops around now, so I might as well just get this heart piece. It is super silly, though, that they put Mario paintings all over the place. Oh, that's right. I can do this because I got the cape. Oh, and the hook shot. I forgot that I needed that. Rip, 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 rip. Oh, actually, there's another thing that I just remembered that I can get. Boop. Da 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 da. Oh, I'll be one short from another full heart. So now that I've beaten Aghanim, time has passed. So those guys that was sawing down this tree, now it's hollowed out. Like you say, I think a studio should focus on making the best game they can and not worry about copying. If you have a unique idea, your execution may be unique unto itself. The problem that most games nowadays feel like a rehash of preconceived notions, so there's little innovation, and those little innovations need to be kept secret. Yeah, I definitely mirror those thoughts too. And in some case, it honestly comes down to there's just not enough money getting pumped into game dev cycles for innovation unless you're independent. Like, publishers don't want to take that risk anymore. And that's not me bad-mouthing our publishers. I do want to put that out there because they have been fantastic. But there's definitely a lot of cases where it's like, you know, if you're given a short period of time and you know, not a huge budget, you know, you kind of have to stick what's tried and true to make sure that both your publisher is happy, but also that your players are happy. Because with innovation comes this inherent risk of, like, you know, what if people don't like it? And it scares a lot of companies because at the end of the day, they have employees to pay, and they just, it scares them away from trying new things, which really stinks. Like, I get it, but I wish it didn't have to be that way. And that's where I think indies are going to really drive the industry forward right now. Indies need to take a risk or you will fail. Absolutely. Yeah, it's almost the inverse of, like, if you don't take risks, you'll never stand out from the crowd. And that's such a crazy world to work in, where it's the complete opposite from the AAA standard. It is kind of weird thinking about it that way. I appreciate that though, because that innovation is like, that's what I really strive for when I make games. And when I feel like that innovation's being stifled, I get just, like, sad, you know? I like that creativity of coming up with something new. Which is why I love game jams, honestly. It's a really great place to just explore and poke and prod things to see what does and doesn't work. It all comes down to money. Yeah, absolutely. AAA companies have more money to blow. It depends, honestly. They do, but they also don't. If we're talking like Blizzard, absolutely. Yeah, indies not so much, for sure. But even, like, there's a lot of AAA studios that, you know, they kind of barely make enough money to keep afloat, and that's how they get locked into publisher dev cycles where they have to have a publisher, otherwise they can't make a game. And it stinks. Like, not being able to create your own IP is such a limiting thing to get locked into. Last LD was amazing for that. I saw so many good ideas. Yeah, Last Ludum Dare was exceptional. Like, all the games that people sent to me in the chat, like, I was blown away by how good so many of those games were. And I think that's why I kind of entered my Ludum Dare stream tentatively, where I was like, I really am not sure what I'm gonna see, because in past Ludum Dares, you know, it was a lot more hit or miss, and they were often really good in their own rights. But, you know, the last thing I want to do is play a game and not be able to find enough good things to say about it. And, like, that's, at that point, I'd rather just say nothing, because I don't want to, you know, badmouth anyone's game. But yeah, you know, it's a really personal experience, I think, to watch someone playing your game too, that I think is, it can feel really cool or really bad real quick, depending on how that player feels about it. But yeah, I know I had a great time streaming those games, and I definitely want to do that again. It's spawning a semi-career idea theft. There's a job that's growing where you go to game jams with the purpose of stealing concepts. Ooh, that's mean. I'm not totally surprised. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, like, I've got a half a brain of thinking like, well, that's only so useful, but at the same time, they could definitely turn shitty real quick, especially stealing indies' ideas. Yeah, I hope it usually is one of those cases of like they won't be able to do it as well as the indie could, and you know, maybe they'll get under fire for it too, for like stealing someone else's idea. But I'm sure most of the time that's not necessarily the case. But anyway, I should call this stream here because it's getting late and I gotta make sure that I've got my head on straight for tomorrow during the workday. But thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you guys, I guess just being interested in like actively participating in like game industry chatter, which is like, this is stuff I've been thinking about a lot lately, so it's nice to be able to chat about it with you guys. Oh wow, Streambot, calm down. You're spamming things a little too much, man. But yeah, thank you for indulging me and just like being interested, I guess. I like talking about this stuff too. But yeah, so next Tuesday I'll wrap up A Link to the Past, and if things go super quick, we'll just jump right into Link's Awakening, which I have never beaten, so that should be interesting, but a lot of fun. But yeah, I enjoyed the conversation a lot too. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. Have a good night, everyone. It was a blast like always, and I'll see you in the next stream. I'm doing Pikmin tomorrow too, if anyone's interested, but that's aside the point. Anyway, take it easy, guys.